It's time for Dodger Baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis gone. What a snap. This is what an ace looks like.
And tagged out is Riley, a double play.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Lulu. And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the series win over the Arizona Diamondbacks. They win by a final score of 3-0. Their 17th shutout of the season. Their 100th win of the year. The Dodgers now 156, keeping it 100 against the Diamondbacks. And it's the 9th time in franchise history that they've won 100 games. That's third all-time between the Oakland A's that have won 10 and the New York Yankees that have done it 21 different times. So this really has been a great season, but of course, there's the San Francisco Giants that continue to win. They swept the Rockies in Colorado, and the Dodgers remain 2 games back with 6 to play. We're going to talk about if the Dodgers can find a way to at least tie it to force a game 163, what the wild card game could look like, how we feeling about the Dodgers. But first, let me know where you're rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Give me those city zip codes. Give me your player of the game. Corey Seager, he goes 2 for 4 with 2 shots. How about I'll just answer that question for you? It was Corey Slugger. I love it when that man carries, and he's a guy that he looks like he's about to go into God mode once again at the right time of year. But how you guys feeling? Give me those thoughts. Give me those takes. So you guys give me your percentage chance that you think the Dodgers will win the division. 6 games to go. And look, if they run the table, they go 6-0, and the Giants go 4-2. The Diamondbacks find a way to get a win. The Padres find a way to get a win. We could see a game 163 up in San Francisco. But we have lots to talk about. But first, let's get into the mix with your comments. So Jason Smithberg, I asked that on the title. Can they overtake? So no, they can't. Luis S., focus on the wild card. This time last week, I talked to you guys about that idea that at what point do you concede the division to the San Francisco Giants, and you do what's best for the team. And if you think they're not going to win and you continue to possibly rest players and get guys ready to go for the postseason, I do think that's something that the Dodgers might have to strongly consider in the next few days. Of course, you definitely want to fight to the end. There's no question about it. But to me, it becomes a game of chess versus checkers. And I think you almost play into what the Giants want you to. Because, look, the Giants, they're going to expect the Dodgers to win against the Cardinals. They're going to expect to see them in the postseason. And the Giants know how much talent this Dodgers team has. And, look, you win with talent in the postseason. And this Giants team, yes, they can win. Yes, what they've been doing is just it's mind-boggling. It's perplexing. To me, it's tough to comprehend a team that was projected to win 74 games now is 102 games. Players whose careers look like they were at the end of the road. Guys like Brandon Crawford and guys like Brandon Belt and Buster Posey, all of a sudden, they're all-stars once again. I'm not saying it's foul play. I'm just saying that, wow, it's pretty unbelievable all the things that have gone right for the San Francisco Giants this year. But let's get into some of these takes. We got Diane Shooter. Hey, D-Mac. What up, Diane Shooter? How you doing on this Sunday? Yeah, unbelievable from Isaac Lopez. Susan with the high five and the emoji. What's up, Susan, over on Facebook? Rockies almost had it. Jonas Bass, they did. They were right there, and then he gave up the single, Bard, and then Duggar's able to score, and then Brandon Belt. And then Brandon Crawford, he hits one out for the 3-run shot, and they just pull away. But look, this Giants team, I've watched honestly pretty much every single Giants game for the last 50, 60 games or so, and they expect to win. They expect to win late. They expect to execute. Their bullpen has come out, and they pitched well. It was a nice quality start for Kevin Gausman, who hasn't had the best second half. And then Logan Webb, he's been on fire in the second half. But, yeah, they expect to win games. They're poised in the clutch, and yeah, you got to give him credit for that. Craig Osterberg, we win another series. Yeah, I mean, look, what can you say about this road trip? The Dodgers, they do end up going 6-3, and they won all 3 series. They won the series against the Reds. They took 2 out of 3. They took 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies, and they take 2 of 3 from the D-backs. But there are some games that really felt like they got away. I mean, Friday night's game against the Reds, look, Luis Castillo was on that game. Walker Buehler didn't have his best stuff. They lose. The bats go quiet. They score 1 run that game, and you saw yesterday, too. Yesterday was pretty inexcusable. Yes, Clayton Kershaw didn't have his best start, but that offense was putrid last night. And I've seen a lot of people out there say, oh, the Giants, they don't seem like their offense goes cold. It seems like their offense always comes up big in the clutch. Yes, they have been a clutch team. There's no question about it. But the Dodgers and Giants, they're almost averaging identical runs in their losses. Dodgers averaging 2.66 runs per game in losses, and the Giants averaging 2.68 runs per game in losses. So you guys know what I say. You got to bring your facts to the fight, and I know it feels that way. Trust me, the perception and the feeling is that that's the case, but the reality is they've had their off nights too. They are a less boom and bust than the Dodgers tend to be, there's no question about it. They do have a higher OPS, and some of their peripherals are better than the Dodgers in losses, but in total, they're similar in a lot of different ways. But a shutout against a last place team, Kari Summer, yeah, I mean, that D-backs team, they've been playing a little better of late. There's some talent on this team, but look, this is yesterday. Look, it's to me, it was yesterday. You know, Kershaw, he had a really nice start in Cincinnati. Yesterday, he didn't have his best stuff. The velocity you saw. The fastball to open the game against Marte. He's going to hit that out each and every time. Marte is a fantastic player, and that fastball, when it's middle like that, it doesn't have much on it. Big leaguers are going to hit that out. That's going to go over the fence. But it was the sloppy defense yesterday. It was the poor at-bats. You saw the play by Justin Turner. Seager, not the best play either as well. So this team, when usually they're clicking on all facets, all 3 different phases of the game seem to be going right. And when the defense is sloppy, the at-bats tend to be sloppy. So I think yesterday was just a game they just thought that they would win because Kershaw's on the mound. It's Arizona Diamondbacks. It's Dodger Stadium East. You see all the Dodger blue in the crowd. But no, you have to go out and execute. It's easy to lose in Major League Baseball. It's really, really hard to win, and you got to grind for each and every dub. And yesterday, I don't think they did that. 100 wins is always a good thing. Come on. Yeah, hey, man, this is a tremendous accomplishment. In every single division in Major League Baseball, except for the one they're in, the Dodgers would have a first-place lead. They would be out in front in every division in Major League Baseball. We would be talking about magic numbers. We would be planning champagne celebrations. But this is just a rarity. Like I said, I've been saying embrace the race for a few weeks now because this is extremely rare. This is just the 5th time in the divisional era that began 1969 that 2 teams have over 100 wins in the same division. 1980, Yankees-Orioles. 1993, Braves-Giants. 2001, Mariners-A's. 2018, Red Sox versus Yankees. So this is really historic, and I think at the end of the day, it is going to be possibly more rewarding if the Dodgers are able to find a way to, 1, win that wild card game, and 2, beat the Giants in the postseason for the first time because these teams have never met in the postseason. So at some point, we knew they were going to have to meet. It was inevitable. They're the Joker to our Batman, and I'm excited about it in a way. The bottom line, too, the Dodgers, they're the best home team in baseball, 52-23 at Chavez Ravine this year. You got Max Scherzer at home. Yes, I know the red-hot Redbirds have won 16 straight, but are they peaking just a little bit too early? I do think that is a possibility. But look, the bottom line is they can still beat the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium because it's baseball and it's a one-game postseason. I'm not going to give all my thoughts on all the postseason reform that I think should take place, but I will say the fact that you do have these 2 teams, Dodgers and Giants, both have 100 wins. Both will have well over 100 wins by the time the season ends. The fact that those 2 teams, one of them is going to be relegated to playing in a one-game winner-take-all postseason game that could potentially end their season. I think that considering that is leading into the new CBA negotiations, it is going to lead to drastic changes in how the postseason looks down the line. Because, look, you wouldn't see this in any other sport. The NBA wouldn't tolerate this. The NFL wouldn't tolerate this. The MLB, if baseball loses the Dodgers in that wild card game, do yourself a favor. Go to NielsenRatings.com. in the NLCS, you're going to see ratings. You're going to see ratings that just aren't what they would have been. It's not good for the sport when your marquee franchises don't get to face each other later, and when the best teams don't get to face each other in the later rounds, it is bad for the sport. And I think in this situation, and it's not me just complaining because I'm a Dodger fan, because I would honestly, I know that you might not believe this, I would have the same exact take if the Giants were in the same situation, because look, you want to see the best teams on the field, and look at the NL East. I do think the Braves could be dangerous, especially in a short series. But look, I mean, bottom line is those teams haven't earned it like the teams in the NL West, who really have the two best teams are in the same division. So it's a crazy season. It's very unexpected. At least the Padres have been eliminated. There's that. I know we talked about that on this show a long time ago, but here we go. Padres are 21-46. Here we go, Julian. Thanks for the segue here. Padres are 21-46 since the All-Star break. Some laugh emojis. Hooray for Seager and Turner, 3-2-1 Florida Space Coast. What up, Deborah? How you do? I know you were scared when A.J. Pollock got hit on his hand. Hopefully he's okay. Like Tim Neverett said, our guy here, that there are like so many small bones in that hand. We saw it happen to Corey Seager when he got hit by Ross Detweiler earlier in the year, that it's always sensitive. You always are concerned anytime someone takes one on their hand like that. But at 16% chance, here's your percentage chance that you think the Dodgers will still win the division. So let's lay things out. So give me your percentage chances. I'll tell you how it's going to go down. The Giants' final 6 games. Who do they get to play? Well, they get to play the Arizona Diamondbacks, the team that you would want to play at home. They play 3 at home versus Arizona and then 3 at home versus San Diego. So the one thing both the Giants and the Dodgers have in common is both teams will close out their season at home, and then the Dodgers 6 at home versus San Diego and 6 at home versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the good thing about the Brewers at this point is the fact that what did they do today? Milwaukee, they clinched their division. Now, they are the NL Central champs. They've won their division, and at their current record, they are not a contender to finish with best record, and also they don't really need to fight with the other divisions. Really, I mean, point is they're not going to have very much to play for. So there's not going to be a lot on the line. I'm sure they'll be resting guys themselves. So we'll see how their lineups look, who will be going for them. So that's definitely something that works in the Dodgers' favor, because if the Brewers had something to play for, they're one of the best teams in baseball, and that could be even more difficult for the Dodgers to run the table, because at this point you got to be looking at least 5-1, 6-0 if you want to have a realistic chance at even making this thing interesting as far as forcing a game 163. But let's say the Dodgers finish 6-0. Let's say the Giants, they lose a game to the Diamondbacks. They lose a game to the Padres. They lose 2 of 3 to the Padres. Anything can happen. We've seen, just look at 1993 when the Dodgers broke the Giants' hearts and they sent that 103 team home without even making a postseason appearance. So anything can happen in baseball. I know it's easy to throw in the towel and give up, but there's still some time left and anything can happen. And look, even if the Dodgers don't win this division and their NL West division streak ends at 8 years, I still really like their chances to beat St. Louis at home and go on to that division round with some momentum. And they're going to be the team that's hunting. And I think that'll be an interesting aspect of this team too. It won't be like 2019 where they're the 106 win team and they're the team that's expected to go to the World Series. Now, the funny thing is I'm interested to see what the odds makers are going to say about this, because I'm pretty sure they're still going to say the Dodgers are favored to win the World Series because of how stacked and loaded this roster is. And some encouraging notes is the top of this lineup, because Corey Slugger is in carry mode, and he got the Dodgers started today. But let's do some more comments, and we'll get into this game. Will Bauer be back? No. That's from Eric. He's 0 chance of that. Deborah Young, I hate to say it, but we won't win the division this year. Prepare for the wild card game. Careless Whisper. Diane Schroeder, glad I was traveling so I didn't have to watch the debacle yesterday. Yeah, Diane, you've been very conveniently out for some of our bad losses this year, and I will say I'm a little jealous of you because you've avoided some pain. But yeah, I know that you're always checking up on it, even if you don't see the game live. You always know what happens. But Giants will lose 2, but can the Dogs win 6? I do look. You guys know I'm a Michelada half full guy. Always have been, always will be. And look, will the Giants win 6 in a row? Doubt it. Could the Dodgers? It's possible. But look, the Padres are going to play a big role in this. They could play spoiler. And we'll see how they look down the line. We'll see how much pride they play. You know, I've been calling them the prideless Padres because of the way they've laid down of late. But hopefully they'll say, hey, we're professionals. We want to go out there and compete. We want to enter the offseason on a high note, and we want to beat the Giants and the Dodgers. But hopefully they'll only beat the Giants and not the Dodgers, and the Dodgers will prove victorious over them. But at least Belt left early. Isaac Lopez Johnson. Deborah Young, I hope AJ's hand is okay. Steve Jativa. Adam Wainwright scares me. That's from Steve Jativa. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. I butchered some names on this show occasionally, and sometimes I've hit on the money where it was a really tough name, so you never know with me. But, yeah, Waino definitely is a hot pitcher. There's no question about it. He has really come on of late, and look, he's a big game pitcher. This guy has a track record. He's had a lot of success in his career, but he has cooled down just a little bit because in August he had a 1.43 ERA. In September, a 3.52 ERA. But yeah, Adam Wainwright is a guy that is going to go out there and he's a tough pitcher. But look, we got Max Scherzer. Okay, I mean the reality is. If DeGrom was healthy, you could maybe make that case. But the Dodgers, the position they're in right now is the position that the Dodgers are in right now is in that wild card game against the Cardinals, and we know the horrors. By my way, my man Eric Yulo from 3 Up 3 Down, he did a really cool video. He's always killing the game with it about kind of the history between the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and we know the history. I'm not going to make you relive a nightmare right here, but it would be a nice way to just exercise some demons just a little bit by beating them in that wild card game. And the reality is, if you could pick any pitcher right now in Major League Baseball to win one game, who would you pick? I think right now there's no question I'm going with Mad Max Scherzer. And that's who the Dodgers have, and that's who they have lined up to go in that game. Now, the unfortunate thing is it is a one game, and you're going to need that offense to step up, but offense at home has been much more consistent. Bob Nightingale, D-Mac, please clear my name. What's up, Bob Nightingale? Here we go. Mr. Cat, don't count out the Padres. They want revenge for the sweeps. Mr. ST Cat. Look, hey, man, I'll be a member. I'll be a temporary honorary member of the Friar Faithful if they go up there and they take 2 of 3 or they sweep the Giants. Like I said, a lot can happen late because at this point the Giants are right there. They're rounding third. They're almost at home. They have that final putt at the Masters, and they just need to make it and just tap it in and finish a couple birdies, and they got the Masters. But they still have to finish the job. And like the great Kobe Bryant said, job not finished. And now it's going to be a lot of pressure on them to close because the Dodgers, they have been there and they have won this. And yes, a lot of their guys on their team, they've had World Championship experience, World Series experience, division wins under their belt as well. But in recent history, this Dodger team has owned this division, and they're going to have to finish the job. And this Dodger team has to come home, feel that Dodger Stadium crowd, wear those wedding gown whites, and finish on a high. Can you imagine this if this Dodger team were to go home and win 6 straight and tie the franchise record in Los Angeles with 106 wins and match that 2019 team and still finish in second place? I mean, how could you really fault this team if that happens? I mean, really, at that point, if the Dodgers finish the season going 6-0 and the Giants finish the season going 6-0, you just have to tip your cap to this Giants team and then also kind of be a little suspicious because, look, anytime you're talking about the Giants, you're talking about a team that was the San Francisco Giants, if you know what I mean. Then in 1951, there were some OG sign stealers. I mean, there was ones before that, but one of the most famous ones in history was that Bobby Thompson hit. He claims, I'm not going to get into the history of that, but he claims that pitch he didn't know it was they weren't using the sign stealing on that one, but they wouldn't have been in that game had they not stole signs. So the Giants have a history of cheating. Their biggest moment as a franchise, that and the Joe Morgan home run and some other, the Bumgarners coming out getting that against the Royals. But they have some big moments. But I'm not accusing the Giants of cheating at all. I'm just saying that I hear a lot of people out there doing it. I know it's easy to do it, but look, until there's any evidence, we really can't go that route. Kind of just, but it's still fun to talk about. Look, So sometimes if you don't believe something, it's still fun to just joke around with it because it helps us deal with the pain of being in second place despite having the best record in Major League Baseball in the second half of the season. So I'm all here for the jokes, and you guys know that. And anytime you guys drop one here, you can hear some stuff. Can you guys – yeah, I got to find a way to put my sounds in there. I'll work on that. 100 wins is a big accomplishment. Now they have to sweep the Padres again and the Giants to lose. They're going to have to get some help from the mediocre teams. Deborah Young, Cardinals are due for some losses. Let's give it to them. Yes. Diane Schroeder, the point is we can't control the Giants, so we have to pay attention to winning our own games. Absolutely. Kenley would not have had to pitch with a base hit with bases loaded in the ninth. Let's go Dodgers. Exactly. We got why won't they won't get past the car? Yeah, they will. I think they'll be the. I mean, yeah, they're going to be the Cardinals if it comes down to that. Here we go. Prepare for the wild card. Sub DMAC pound for pound. I feel really good about the Cardinals. But to me, the other thing too is the Dodgers still just won't have home field advantage down the way in the postseason, even though they'll have a better record because they will be a wild card team at that point. But let's get into some of the. But let me know down below in the comment section, how confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 that the Dodgers will beat St. Louis in that wild card round? Let me know. But top of the first inning, LA gets 2 in the first after back-to-back jacks. First from Corey Seager on a 1-2 count. He crushes a Mejia fastball over the fence to make it 1-0 Dodgers. His 11th home run of the year, his 99th of his career. And then before Nomar Garciaparra could even finish analyzing Corey Seager's home run, Trey Turner hits one out. He hit 2 yesterday, and he gets a Trey tank to make it 2-0 Dodgers. His 25th of the year and his 100th of his career. And that's a new career high for Trey Turner and 100 bombs. Congratulations for those Trey tanks. And then he punched and really just crushing fastballs. He punched that fastball middle, and he's now hitting .462 on first pitches this season. So LA gets 2 runs on 2 hits. They're now 74-20. Actually, 75-20 now when they score first. So that's always big for this team. Getting out in front, striking first blood. It gives the pitchers, puts less pressure on the starter, less pressure on the Dodgers pitchers, and just allows them to it takes the pressure off the bats as well because they go out there and they're not pressing and they're not swinging for the fences. You see less boom or bust, but they did just get 3 runs in this one. But here we go. We got Vincent, Dougie. We got bring back Alana. Why you guys hating on Kirsten Watson? Did I miss something? 5% we win from Vincent. Ryan Montes. What up, my man? Yes, we got 20% from Greg Tucker. 10% chances that the Dodgers will ultimately overtake the Giants and win the NL West. 20% from Lynn M. Lynn M, can we get a pun at this point? I'll be looking for you. Matty Man Dodge, ain't happening, Doug. We got the scary wild card game. And it's looking like that is what is going to be the scenario. But the wild card game was always going to be scary. I don't care if it was the Padres. That'd be scary too because the Dodgers, they bring the best out of the Padres at times, and you know that they're a team that would love a chance to play the Dodgers in the wild card game. So, yes, it is a hot team in the Cardinals, but let's say it's a wild card game and it's the Padres and Tatis hits 2 home runs and the Dodgers all of a sudden are down 4-0. Now they're pitching. I'm not too afraid, especially if it's a Yu Darvish type or anything like that. But, I mean, the wild card game was always going to be tough because of the opponent and also the flukiness of a one-game do-or-die-all postseason game. But 1% sounds fair. What up from New York? My man Joseph Magazzini from the home of the Los Angeles Dodgers, New York City. That was our birthplace. We were born in New York, raised in L.A., if you know what I'm saying. Did you see Belly? Yeah, buzz cut Belly is a vibe. Hey, man, hopefully he comes back and all of a sudden we see 2019 Belly, and I'm liking it, man. Broke the Dodgers internet. People were freaking out, losing their mind. And it's funny because I do think that he already looks like his swing is better. I can just tell. He doesn't have that hair kind of weighing him down. He's going to be lighter. That bat speed's going to be quicker. I'm telling you, I'm still hoping that Cody Bellinger can find his swing just a little bit to contribute this year. But yeah, man, I'm rooting for the guy. There's a chance. You like the chances versus Wainwright. Exactly. The Giants could be resting starters. Luis S. Dodgers don't deserve to win anything this year. The team needs to be punished for relying on the pitchers and Trey Turner and Seager to win them games. Luis S., I've got news for you. This is the 9th time in the franchise's rich history. We're talking 130 years. So 9 times out of 130 years, this team has won 100 games, and we're acting like they're a last place team. No, and yes, this team does have a tremendous amount of talent. This is a well-oiled machine. Yes, Dave Roberts did get the keys to a shiny new Lamborghini with this team, but there has been a multitude of injuries that have impacted this season. You just said Corey Seager. Well, how about the fact that Corey Seager missed 2 months of action? Would the Dodgers be where they are if Corey Seager was out that long? Would they be where they are if Cody Bellinger hasn't had the year he's had and missed the time that he has? How about Mookie Betts, who has missed a significant amount of time, and also he was playing through injury for the majority of the first half of the season? So you want to bring up Corey Seager and how the Dodgers are disappointing? Well, Corey Seager did miss 2 months of action with a broken hand, and I think he would have gone a long way to help this Dodgers team win a lot of those games that they lost, and I think their record would be different right now. Now, there is a series I want to mention, and we're talking a lot about the Rockies today and how they just, they screwed the pooch against the Giants. They didn't show up. They threw in the towel. And how about the series on August 27th? August 27th, 28th, and 29th. The Dodgers at home against Colorado. Cron hit that massive bomb on the Friday game. The Sunday game, Justin Turner, he pitched the scoreless inning, but the Dodgers lost 2 out of 3 games to Colorado that weekend series. And up in San Francisco, the Giants took 2 of 3 from the Giants won 2, or the Braves won 2 games against the Giants on the same day. So those were crucial. The Dodgers had a real opportunity to make up some ground in those games, but they failed to do so. And I think if they lose the division, we'll see how this year turns out. It could come back to haunt the Dodgers. But D-Mac, what up, Victor Gonzalez over on YouTube? Always killing the game. AJ isn't hurt. This is from Matty Man Dodge. AJ isn't hurt. He was definitely not favoring his hand. Yeah, I was feeling good about it. 1, because he didn't leave the game, and 2, he was talking to Dave Roberts. I think Pollo is going to be just fine. Hello, Catman. Dodgers will just have to take the long road to the NLDS the way things are playing out. Nats did it. Giants did it. Journey made more difficult, but not impossible. Yes, it's going to have to be the hard way. And like you said, 2014 Giants did it. 2019 Nationals. We've seen examples of the Marlins. I mean, there's an example. You can do it. There's no question about it. This team has the veteran leadership. They have the experience. They have the moxie, the mental toughness to go on the road and win games. Unfortunate thing is that you'd probably see less games at Dodger Stadium, so there's that, especially if they're dominating series. And, of course, you're going to have to win big games on the road, whether it be a Game 5 on the road, Game 7 on the road, which they did in 2018 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Shout out to Chris Taylor and Yasiel Puig. That home run, gave me goosebumps. But here we go. Barnes. I like it. Just saying Barnes, I'll read any comment. Guys, you know how I get down. A man of the fan. 100 pound for pound, always positive. Scherzer. So this is the answer to my question. If you could have any pitcher on the planet right now pitch for the Dodgers in a single elimination game, who would it be? And your answer is Scherzer. Anthony R. You can say. I mean, it's not the place for that topic, but hey, man, do you? Max and Barnes. Julian. Sniper 21. I feel like the Cardinals have already reached their peak. 16 wins in a row, gonna die out by the wild card. That is the hope. Hopefully the Redbirds can, the Redbirds can be a little less red hot. But I mean, look, we've seen teams get on a roll. We've seen teams get on a roll late, and that is kind of the recipe. Just look at that 2019 Nationals team that you just want to get on a roll late and peak at the right time, and they are playing really good baseball. O'Neal's just been a beast. I mean, they got talent on that team. There's no question about it. And but in the course of it is about just beating them in that wild card game. The pressure is going to be on the Dodgers. I just hope the Dodgers get a lead early, and then Max Scherzer deals, and the offense doesn't pull a Game 7 in the 2017 World Series, if you know what I mean. How are the Giants? I don't think the Giants are cheating. I was just pointing out that a lot of people on the interwebs are saying that. And to me, like I said, even though I don't believe it, I still think it's fun to talk about. Who cares? Frogers, okay. Giants going to win the West by Victor. Scam Dig. I feel like the Giants fans have found me. Over the last couple weeks, I've been getting some DMs from Giants fans talking smack. I'm like, why would you just say it on my Twitter? Why do you do it on my DMs? It's a little creepy. But it's cool, man. Respect. Thanks for rocking with us. Thanks. Bound to lose at least one. D-Mac, are you concerned about the offense? Trilly. Look, I mean, they still have the number one offense in the National League. But, yeah, I mean, there are times when this offense does concern me. There's no question about it. Yesterday was a red flag. Yes, it was nice to see Trey Turner come up big late. But, look, Justin Turner, he's been struggling of late. This week, Justin Turner, he ends up heading into today's action. JT was 5 for his last 24, hitting .208. Yeah, he needs to pick it up. JT, he has been the Dodgers' most productive postseason player. He holds pretty much every Dodgers postseason batting record there is. And we need to see him kind of come up big and get some bigger hits. And, look, he's late on a lot of stuff, a lot of just kind of short at-bats. We need to see Justin Turner really pick it up, and I'm hoping that's the case. I think that JT, if you look at Justin Turner today, he ends up going or yesterday he ends up where did I get off? But yeah, today, that's why I think it's really good to see. Today, the last 6 games, JT, like I said, goes 5 for 24. But the good thing is when Justin Turner's out, you saw today Chris Taylor playing third, gives him a little bit of rest. And I thought today was a good day to rest JT. And then Max Muncy's the other guy. Today, Max Muncy, he goes 0 for 4. And heading into today's action, he was 4 for his last 20. He was hitting .200 with 1 home run and 1 double. So he's another guy that needs to pick it up as well. But all the good news is you got Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux, 8 for heading into today. He was 8 for his last 20 with an OPS of 1,078. He ends up going 1 for 4 today. But really, I'm really excited about the top of that lineup. Mookie Betts, he goes 0 for 5 today, which was definitely not what you want to see. And Mookie, he had that 15-game hitting streak. In his last 6 games heading into today, Mookie had a 541 OPS. So, yeah, you guys know what I do, man. I try to tell you guys who's hot, who's not, and Mookie Betts is another guy that needs to pick it up too. Guys that are hot, and then Will Smith too has been in a little bit of slump of late too. Will Smith 3 for his last 19, hitting 158. So really across the board, this offense needs to pick it up. But the good news, Trey Turner has been outstanding in his last 6 games. He was hitting .400 with an OPS of 1124, and today, Trey Turner, he ends up going 2 for 4. He had that double and that home run. So really the power's picking up for Mr. Trey Turner. You're seeing those Trey tanks. You love to see it. And then also, why did the Dodgers win the World Series last year? Why did they win the Fall Classic and come back when they were trailing 3-1 to the Atlanta Braves? Well, the Dodgers' best play on offense was Corey Seager, and Corey Seager is really starting to catch fire again. So you saw those 2 bombs today. And Corey Seager heading into today in his last 6 games had an OPS of 1109. So that's really, really encouraging. The power numbers are also starting to increase for him, especially after 2 bombs today. So am I worried about the offense? I know that Mookie Betts is going to be fine. I think if you're going to be concerned about the offense, the guys to look at are Max Muncy and Justin Turner. Those 2 guys have been struggling of late. Chris Taylor, yes, he's been struggling. but he's also been in and out of the lineup with that neck injury. And look, we're not expecting Chris Taylor to be, our offense should not rely on a guy like Chris Taylor as great as he's been this season. You expect guys like Justin Turner and Max Muncy right there in the meat of that lineup at the 4-5 spots to really put up better numbers. And, they're going to have to pick it up big time if the Dodgers are going to make a deep run. But if you look at it, they're still first in the National League with runs per game at over 5 a game. They're 8th in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage, 5th in slug, 1st in walk percentage, 6th in K percentage. So the numbers are solid, but, there are some concerns, like I said, Justin Turner and Max Muncy. But back into the comments section, here we go. Richie, that wild card team, no home advantage rules would need to change after this year. Yes, that is definitely one thing that I agree with you. And I also think that the easy fix, too, is you force the team with the worst record to have to win 2 games and then the team with the better record to win one game. That, to me, is another way that you reward the team that has the better record. One, by the home field advantage, and two, the fact that they are the better team. You want to see them in the postseason, and you don't – look, baseball is too fluky to have a March Madness-style single elimination do-or-die game, and I think that if we lose a team like the Dodgers – baseball is going to lose lots and lots and lots of money. I mean, not just some money. Baseball will lose millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, especially with the NBA starting and the NFL in full swing, college football. You lose a market like Los Angeles. You lose a team, a flagship franchise like the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's not a good thing. And trust me, the league office will try to avoid this in the future. But look, I mean, it was just something that we'll talk about after the fact, but I still feel very confident that the Dodgers will, if they find themselves in a wild card game, they'll win that game. The thing that I think that kind of I've been thinking about in the last few days that kind of keeps me up at night is how enticing that Game 163 will be. Because if they go to that Game 163 and then they throw Max Scherzer up in San Francisco, which is never an easy place to win, then you lose him for that potential wild card game. And we see that Walker Buehler and Julio Urias, we're going to talk about in just a second, they haven't been at their best lately. Tonight, Julio Urias, he goes 5 innings. He does get the win, his 19th win of the season. So congrats to Julio if you're into wins, which this is always good times. But he went 5 innings, had 3 punch-outs in 5 innings. But I think the thing that sticks out with his outing is only 5 swings and miss. That swing strike percentage around 19. That is way down. He's over 30% this year. He's had a big uptick this season on the swinging strikes, but you didn't see that today, and that was concerning. Also, the velocity dip on that heater was down a tick today. He's averaging 94.1 miles per hour on the season, and today he averaged 93.1 miles per hour during today's outing. It was also down 1.6 miles per hour on his curve, 0.5 miles per hour on his changeup. And then also you saw, he went a lot of fastballs today. He went 47% fastballs, 33% curves, 20% change. So we didn't see as much changeup today. And that's the other enticing thing is, let's say the Dodgers unfortunately lose a couple of games coming up, or even their next game, the Giants win, they're 3 games back. At what point do you try to say, look, we bring up some guys to start the last game or last few games, and we just skip some starts to get these guys ready? Because you saw they skipped a start for Julio, and he pitched very well the next couple, but it does feel like, look, Julio Urias and Walker Buehler, this is uncharted territory for them, uncharted waters as far as innings pitched. They're at a career high, both of them. Julio's already doubled his innings count, so that's something that we need to monitor closely. But there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made, but really it just comes down to these next few games. To rely on the Diamondbacks, who knows? I mean, you just never know. I hate to count a team out because look at the Rockies, man. Look at what they were able to do to the Dodgers a few weeks ago. Anything can happen. But here we go. What up, D-Mac? What up, Jorge Luis Gomez over on YouTube? The Cards. Hi, D-Mac. Hi, Dodgers and Harvick fan. An 8. That's your. By the way, throw out those confidence levels on a scale of 1 to 10. That the Dodgers will beat the St. Louis Cardinals in that one-game wildcard game if that's where they find themselves. D. Mezzi, what up? I like that. No one's ever called me that, Andrew. I've been called a lot of nicknames. The Human Hype Machine, Dougie Fresh, all kinds of stuff, really. But D. Mezzi, I like that. I love Kirsten. Okay, Vivian, good times. Yeah, Kirsten's good times, man. I don't have anything against anyone. 6 or 7 for Jonas Bass. Okay. Nomo FOMO, JT Muncy, and Mookie slumping. Exactly. If they start hitting, I won't be worried. Nomo, I should have just found your comment, and I wouldn't have had to give such a long-winded answer. You would have made it easy doing the work for me. But you got Smith, you got 5. That's Nomo FOMO's confidence level that the Dodgers will beat the Cardinals in that one-game wildcard game. 60-40 chance from Gary A. Sam gives it a 10. 5 from Trilly. This offense is concerning. Mike M. gives an 8. Vivian Anika gives it a 6.9. Dodgers and Harvick's fan gives it a 9. Deborah Young gives it a 10. Diane Schroeder gives it a 10. Luis S. a 7. Joe Correo, 8.5. Jack Ramirez a 10. Zachary a 10. Mike M. D-Mac, what's shaking? What's shaking, Mike M? Just trying to find a way to find out how the season's going to shake out one way or another. That's exactly what's shaking. Here we go, though. It's the bat, not the hair. Mike M. Yeah, I know. It's just all fun. You know. How long? Oh, see, look. Lynn M. This is why you get paid the big bucks. How long is Cody Bellinger? That's what I'm talking about. I think my sound's not working, but yeah. Dave Roberts said he wasn't going to be out for the whole season, so it looks like, or the whole regular season, so I'm assuming at some point this time next week he'll get back in the lineup in some capacity, or even coming off the bench. We'll see. Cardinals fear nobody right now. I smell a rat. Interesting. JT pulled a ball today. Yay. Yeah. How long? Oh, we got Dustin May from Jackie Ray. Doyers don't deserve to win the West. They have the highest payroll in the league and so much talent. That's from By Victor 1. Cody Bellinger is my hero from Joseph. All teams have had so many injuries. Stop making excuses. I mean, it's not an excuse, just a fact. I mean, the Dodgers have used 39 pitchers. If this team wasn't injured, they would probably have 104 or 5 wins at this point. But it's not even an excuse. I mean, I'm not making an excuse for this Dodger team. I'm just pointing out the reality. And if they don't win, they're going to have to deal with the consequences of playing in a wild card game. It's not about making an excuse. I mean, you have to be a fool not to point out the reality of it. And if the Dodgers were healthy, so wait, let me ask you a question. If the Dodgers were fully healthy this entire season, would today be their 100th win? Answer me that. If you're out of all honesty, answer me that question. The extra inning and one-run losses were critical. Mike M. Yep. Definitely. I mean, also, how about losing 3 or 4? How about losing that series to the Miami Marlins? I mean, that was critical. I mean, we can talk about a lot of sequences this year, and it just kind of felt like that. You know, that's just how the baseball season is. I mean, I always say when it comes to the baseball season, it's long until it isn't. It feels like it's forever, and then you look at the schedule and you see there's 6 games left, right? And that's just kind of how it is. And I think that's just because you guys are all hardcore, and you're locked in. And then all of a sudden, it just feels like you look at the schedule and there's all those little boxes and a calendar. And then just like that, boom, here we are. And we got, we're entering the last week of action. But, yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that one. But I do think that was such a critical series for the Dodgers because they were on a roll. They were on a roll. They were at a 9-game winning streak going into that Marlins series, and they lose 3 in a row. They lost 3 in a row. They win the getaway game, but they lose 3 of 4 to that Marlins team on the road. And then you come back home and you lose at home to the Diamondbacks before taking the next 2 before the All-Star break. So kind of just flailing as they kind of got went into the break. And yeah, they were dealing with some stuff at the time. There's no question about it. Also, like the stretch where they got swept at San Diego and they came home and they got no hit by the Cubs. So, look, I'm not trying to this is not an obituary on the 2021 Dodgers, okay? But, yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of baseball I played, and I still feel really good about this team. I really do. Does DeGrom count? Yeah, DeGrom counts. You can go with DeGrom. It's not a bad choice, okay? Scherzer from Diane Schroeder. Giants own the Dodgers this year. It's from Daniel. Mike M. Cards will not die. I mean, yeah, they own them, really, because really they own them because last time I checked, they played 19 games. The Giants won 10. The Dodgers won 9. The run differential was very close, and also that should have been a strike 3 to Ruff, so it should have really been tied. So, I mean, you consider that ownage? I don't know. But hey, man, don't let the reality get in the way of your narrative, man. Get roll with it. But have the Giants play the Dodgers tough this year? Absolutely. There's no question about it. Is there anyone here trying to discredit or dismiss what the Giants have achieved and accomplished this year? No, I'm not trying to do that. Look at the game with Albert Pujols. Barnes comes up. He ties it at 5. Tauchman robs Pujols of the walk-off home run. You see the throw that Bellinger made. You saw the Trey Turner throw to Will Smith. I mean, there was a lot of close games there. So, I mean, when you lose close, I wouldn't call that ownage. You're acting like the Giants took all 19 games from the Dodgers and they won by a score of 20-0 each game. So, but hey, man, it's a cute take. I love it. Muncie has concerned me. D-Mac, can you get a Joe Mary? Can you get a Joe? Hey, man, I got to get the new Joe Kelly Mariachi shirt over at GearUp.la, man. I got to get the fresh new gear go over there and get geared up. But like I said, I got the Giants fans in the comment section. I got them in my DMs. I got them responding to my tweets, and they're talking a lot of smack, and they're trying to get under my skin, and it's good times, man. It just shows you the rivalry is real. The rivalry is back, and yeah, I mean, I bleed Dodger blue. Nothing could ever change that. So, look, I mean, that's just the way it is. Dodger bats are too cold right now. We're from Robert Rocha. Lynn M. Imagine if the Dodgers lost Game 163 and they don't have shirts. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like I said, I should just read the comments straight up, and we do the show like that. But here we go. Daniel Moreno. They started tests for them PEDs, and Dodgers bats went silent. Disagree. Chris Taylor's garbage too from Andrew McDaniels. I wouldn't say he's garbage. I think Chris Taylor, he really carried the Dodgers as far as his dependability. He was the guy who was in the lineup. He was posting every single day. You saw he made his first All-Star game of his career, and then you started to see that take its toll. The fatigue factor. He was late on a lot of fastballs, middle. And you saw the strikeout rate really spike up, a big uptick in that strikeout rate. And then on top of that, you had that neck injury that has to be very uncomfortable to play with. But look, he's a guy that to pinpoint Chris Taylor. Look, he's a guy that he's not your big time player that you rely upon. What he contributes, it's really icing on the cake. And what he's done this year has really been outstanding considering the career he's had. Really a career year, right? His first All-Star appearance. But, yeah, he needs to pick it up. He didn't have his best postseason last year, too, at the plate. But I think that when he's hitting, you're just seeing the length of this lineup, and you're seeing that it really helps. But defensively, he makes plays. Look what happened Friday where he dove for that ball in the ninth inning, made that catch. So he's a guy that is a real strong utility man. He can play infield, outfield like you saw today. He made a nice play when he saved that ball when the Diamondbacks were trying to get some runs on that line drive to Trey Turner. They made the play at the plate, so that was really solid right there. But here we go. We got the 4th and 5th seed that play the wild card should be seeded according to record. The Braves and Cardinals should be playing in the wild card. Yeah, I think that more of an NBA style would work. I understand divisions are more important in Major League Baseball, so you do want to find a way to honor those to an extent. I mean, look, it's just, but look, the reality is you want to honor those. I mean, you got the traditional matchups. You got, the travel is an issue, especially, a long season. But look, the way that these guys travel, look at the hangar that the Dodgers were in when they took that picture for the costumes, right? I mean, these guys travel for all first class. I mean, what they do is just top-level stuff. So I do think it would just be better for the sport because I think that the goal should be to keep the best teams in the game in the postseason as long as you possibly can. But if you do tinker with the division, like how many of you guys know what division the Lakers are in? The Pacific Division. Of course I know probably a lot of you guys know, but just in general, I don't think that there's this big buzz about, we're the Pacific Division champs versus the NL West champs or the AL East or the NL East, things like that. I think that it's a little more prestigious, a little more tradition-laden in baseball. But back into the comment section, guys. Did your football team win today? How about that? Let's see. I know the Rams fans are happy, right? Man, that Rams game was popping. You had LBJ, you had Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, the cast of Ted Lasso. It was like a who's who at that one. But let me get my comments back. But yeah, I mean, this Dodger team really has to find a way to just find a way to come home, business-like approach, take it one game at a time, and get these wins. And look, I mean, you can't scoreboard watch, but you got to really what the Giants do in the next few days, I think it's going to dictate how the Dodgers manage their approach down the stretch. But Dodgers probably lose the West from Samuel Kim. Gary A. Taylor carried them most of the year. He gets a pass, exactly. Brian Alex, hopefully we beat the Cardinals. Samuel Kim worries about St. Louis. Wainwright has the Dodgers numbers for many years. Yep, we can get into I think I'll probably do a vid on that. Billions, there you go. Yeah, there's too many pop-ups every game, especially with Turner and Muncy. Can Dodgers beat Wainwright? Too many fat pitches. Yep. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, brother D-Mac. Yeah, I don't mind 8. So how's it going, Doug? What up, A-Goat? Magnifico. I like that, Lynn M. All right, Lim, I already got 2 out of you. Don't overwork yourself. It's a Sunday, okay? You put in work. You always do. I appreciate you, Lynn. Brian, Doug, do you really think the Dodgers can beat the Giants in the DS? I definitely do. I mean, I think the Dodgers can get to their starting pitching. Logan Webb is fantastic, but when it comes to DeSclafani and Kevin Gausman, I like the Dodgers' chances to go up there with a chip on their shoulder. And look, this is a team that has competed each and every season for a very long time, 8 straight years. We're talking World Series appearances in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And this team, they can say they want to go out there and give it their all for a regular season game, but when you tasted that energy in October, it's really addicting. And I think when they place themselves in that environment again, their games will go to another level, and they are the team that is the most postseason proven. And I do think I do like their chances against this Giants team. I really do. I think that it would be a long series. I could see it easily going 4 or 5 games. I could easily see the Dodgers going up there and getting the split, and the Giants coming down to LA and getting the split and going to a pivotal Game 5. I don't see the Dodgers sweeping the Giants. They've been tough all season long. They've been resilient. They refuse to lose in a lot of games. So, look, I mean, like I said, you got to tip your cap to the season they've had, but it would be great. I mean, look, let's be honest. As much as we hate being in second place, as much as we detest our rivals, the San Francisco Giants, this would be great for the rivalry, and it would be great for Major League Baseball. You thought that they probably would love to have Padres-Dodgers because of Fernando Tatis Jr. and that angle, and for good reason. The guy's a superstar. I'm not hating on that. But for the league to have Dodgers-Giants in that first round, I think it's going to be big for the in the postseason. It's going to be big for the sport, whether it be in the DS. So, it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out, but I do think that they are going to have the advantage of us having to burn Scherzer if it comes to that. And then look what happened last time Walker Buehler went up to San Francisco, gave those 6 runs. It was the most runs he had given up since 2019 to the Rockies. So here we go. NLDS will be Dodgers-Giants. They would have 104 wins by now from Isaac. Go Dodgers. Sub D-Mac. What up, Doom _Sal? How about the blown saves? That's been a factor, too, from Tom Alfonso, especially the 3 consecutive blown saves following the All-Star break. 1 against the Rockies. Remember on that Sunday game where Charlie Blackmon hit that walk-off shot, and then you saw the 3 against the San Francisco Giants where he got booed off the mound. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll have plenty of time to break down the bad losses this season if it comes to that. But let's all remember this is only the 9th 100-win team in Dodgers history, and there is a lot to celebrate, but they're also a victim of the standard that they've set for themselves and the expectations they've created, 1, with the talent and the roster they've assembled, and 2, the amount of success that they've achieved in the last 9 seasons. So, umps in the D-back series suck so bad. Oh, big facts over there, Baris, BHRRISS over on YouTube. Alex Renteria getting swept by the Cubs in Chicago was bad too. Yeah, that was bad too, and especially because Dodgers had a real chance to win that one. But the moment I'll remember most was my boy Jock Peterson when he thought he hit one out and he had that face. Man, I love Jock Peterson. William, we really doing strike 3 complaining when it should really have been a conversation about ball 5? We could talk about that too if you want. But sure. I hope the Coors cat didn't die. That's bad luck. Yes. Do you have a better feeling about this? This is a good question right here. Do you have a better feeling about this team than you did 2019, boys? Cormac, I would say absolutely, because this team, the talent level is exponentially better than the talent level of that 2019 team. Because, 1, that team, Walker Buehler, he was a stud, but this team, Clayton Kershaw, also, his fastball was at a career low. And it was, after the season, he went to Driveline. He kind of figured out some things mechanically from the release point, got his velocity up a little bit, and then really kind of mastered that slider. I think that Kershaw, when he's on, is in a better place than he was that year. And also, that division series taught us never to use Kershaw out of the bullpen like they did. But also, just look at the lineup. That lineup went so cold. You had guys that just couldn't make contact, couldn't put the ball in play. We're getting mowed down at times. You rely on guys like Russell Martin to get big hits and Kike Hernandez. This team, has Mookie Betts. That team didn't. That's an MVP player. That's one of the best players in the game when he's right. And then you're talking about Trey Turner, who's easily a top 10 to 15 player in the league too. And you also have Corey Seager, who's at a different level than he was in 2019. In 2019, the rep on Corey Seager, his MO was that he wasn't clutch in the postseason. And what happened the year after that? He would go on to win the NLCS and World Series MVP and establish himself as a guy who's had one of the greatest postseason runs as any player we've ever seen. So a lot has changed since that 2019 team. I did like, having Maeda out of the bullpen. Also, I think Urias has matured, but I guess the difference is I did feel better about Walker Buehler at that stage where that series was set because he was fresher. He did set, I think he's pitched 182 innings that year, but he was fresh. He was young, a little younger than he was now. I mean, he's still in the prime of his career, but I think that Buehler is going to figure some things out. After his last start, he said he was tinkering with some things, but I do think that the influx of talent on this team is much better than that team, especially. Look, I mean, you got Blake Trinan, who's been one of the best relievers in the game, Vesia, Corey Knebel. I do like the talent of this roster better than that 2019 team. They got exposed a little bit, and that 2019 team, those 106 wins, they were a little deceived. Also, got to talk about Will Smith. Will Smith has established himself as one of the best hitting catchers in the game this year. I know he's had his struggles of late, but he has been the Dodgers, really, when it comes to WRC+, OPS+, and some of the hitting peripherals, he has been their best player in the second half of the season. Will Smith has also improved as well. But that team, you look at those 106 wins, you had 12 walk-offs that year. So a lot of those wins that went the Dodgers' favor haven't this year. So it's a little bit skewed and it's a little bit misleading when you see that record. But a great question. I appreciate you rocking with us here, my man. Diane Shooter, Dodgers have 100 wins with all the injuries this year. That's amazing. Amazing. People have faith. Diane Shooter, always bringing the positivity. Michelada half full. Betts to bat third. Interesting. I don't trust Kersh. Yeah, I mean, Clayton Kershaw, we love the guy. He's a walking Hall of Famer, a walking living legend, no question about it. His stretch from 2011 to 2017 was just stuff of legend, no question about it. 2.48 career, a lifetime ERA, what he's accomplished, 3 Cy Youngs, at MVP, everything. But you just look he's got to dot that fastball, and he has to have the feel for that slide piece and that curveball to be effective. And when he doesn't, you're going to see him give up a few runs. But I still think he can give you quality 5-6 inning outing. And I do think what you really like to see is the fact that those strikeouts are up. He is missing bats. I mean, you saw 20 swings and misses 2 starts ago. Last start wasn't his best. We've seen him have some issues in Arizona at times, but I still think that for a number 3 starter, Clayton Kershaw, the only thing, and that's the thing too, is depending on what happens in that DS series or the wild card game, you could be seeing him, in game 2 of the DS, which is something that you got to hope for the best there, right? Dodgers are averaging 5 errors per week. Is that bad? All errors are bad. No, but that's, the Dodgers, they have the most unearned runs in the league, and that's definitely not good for sure. Don Kim, what up, Don Kim? How you doing, my man? You're right. Will Smith numbers comparable to Real Muto, exactly. Dodgers second to last in defense, must improve for sure. I mean, I've been harping on that all season long. You want to, like Ned Cleddy talks about presentation, you want to defense. Look what happened last season. If it weren't for defense, the drought would still exist. If it weren't for what Mookie Betts did, what Cody Bellinger did, what Justin Turner did when he laid out like Superman to make that key double play against the Braves in Game 7. I mean, there's a lot of big defensive moments for this Dodgers team last year, and this year you've seen some sloppy play, and it's unfortunate too. Trey Turner has been, look, man, you don't expect to get traded and to get traded to the Dodgers where you have to play second base. Look, I mean, it's going to be a tough transition, especially in the middle of a pennant race. So then also you've had some moving parts in the outfield due to some, you got Gavin Lux that never started in center field. He's playing center field. Pollock, he's been in and out. And Mookie Betts, who was out some games as well. But as far as the left side of that infield with Seager and Turner, you want to see some, sharpen that up as well. But just imagine if each position player just got 1 hit each game. That would be great. That would be wonderful. Samuel Kim, Kershaw needs to move into a Greg Maddux type pitcher now. In his career, 3 pitches and hit your spots. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. He's got to dot it. He's got to command the zone. And, yeah, I mean, look, you're seeing that slider. He's throwing it 47.5% of the time. The release point of it looks like it's a heater, and all of a sudden it disappears, and he gets a lot of swing and miss. And the thing is, look, he can give up a home run or two. It's just about not walking guys and kind of avoiding some of that hard contact, missing barrels. But here we go, Alex Renteria. This year would have been perfect to have home field advantage throughout since they have the best record at home. Exactly, Alex. I mean, 52-23 at home. But, yeah, I mean, it would have been. It's not over. It's not over. Don't give up on the Dodgers. I mean, we're going to have another show in a few days. By the way, be sure to check out the Blue Heaven podcast with my man, the senior editors here at Dodgers Nation, Mr. Clint Pasillas and Brooke Smith. They're going to have a lot to talk about as well. And then tomorrow and on Tuesday, we'll be back, and then we'll have a better idea about how the last few games will go. But lost yesterday. What do you think about Julio's role is in the postseason? Dodgers 6-0 this week. Yeah, before we head out of here, how do you think the Dodgers will finish the season? Will they go 6-0, 5-1, 4-2, 3-3? Let me know down below in the comments section. And Cormac, I think that he's definitely going to be. I think Julio, I would want to see him come in that rotation possibly before Kershaw, depending on how the series plays out. We'll see. But I do see him, number 3, number 4 starter for sure. Alex Renteria, Dodgers 5-1. Cypress, Dodgers 4-2. Mike M, Dodgers 4-2. Deborah Young, Dodgers 4-2. I got the Dodgers going 5-1 to end the year. Lynn M 4-2. A-Goat 6-0. That's what I want to see. I wish, I want to say 6-0. I think it'll be 5-1. Hopefully the Giants go 0-6. How about that? That'd be great. Giants with me at 5-1. But thanks again, guys. You guys are the best fans in the game. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. The Dodgers celebrate a little bit. I mean, hey, winning 100 games in Major League Baseball isn't easy. Patrick Gagne at 5-1. And that we still have a week of baseball to play. And still got we still got a week of baseball left to play, and a lot can happen in 1 week. We know that, but hey, we're gonna be here all along the way. Gonna be supporting the boys in blue. But thanks for rocking with us, guys. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. That's at DMAC_LA. See you guys on Tuesday. Be sure to head over to gearup.la for the best t-shirt designs in the game. You're going to find it right over there. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Final thoughts, Dodgers get the win. Julio Urias, not his sharpest. He was still grinding out there. They got the dub. Trey Turner, he's staying hot. Corey Seager, he's staying hot. Congratulations on your 100th career home run to both those guys in the same game. I don't wonder how many times that's happened. And the Dodgers, the bottom line is they have to finish strong and hope that the Giants lose a few games, that the Diamondbacks and the Padres help them out. But see you guys next week. D-Mac, walk it off from Mike M. Hasta luego. Thanks again, Doug. Adios. We got Dodgers 4-2, 6-1. Hey, this is Biv from Back to the Future with a hot take. Sorry, but the Dodgers will lose to the Phillies in wild card matchup. Okay. Thanks to my man over on Twitch. But see you guys next time. Remember, nothing. Thanks again, Diane Schroeder. Thanks, D-Mac. Smash that like button. Exactly. Share the show. Don't forget. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best in the game. See you next time, guys. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis score. What a snap. This is what an ace looks like.
And tag out is Riley, a double play.